Good night, everyone doing tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a little show news on tonight. First, we're gonna start with excuse me. First, we're gonna start with a teenager. She jumped out of a lift car while it was moving. Um, and she feel like it saved her life. You know, she felt like it saved her life. The teenager explained why she jumped out of the lift ride while it was moving. So a teenager, she said she had to jump out of the moving car after she felt unsafe as a passenger in a lift ride. She felt like she was unsafe. So 16-year-old said that she got into the lift after work, and just after 9 o'clock p.m., she said the driver kept spraying something inside the car. Just kept on spraying something, you know, inside the car. And she said after the fourth spray, she felt sleepy. And that's when she started thinking of a way out. At least she was thinking, you know, um, because he would have kept on spraying and she would have kept on sitting there, she probably would have been knocked out asleep. So she had to figure out how to get out of this car. Now she said she cried, she yelled, but the driver wouldn't let her out. She finally got the door open. He had the door locked. So she finally got the door open and she jumped out. She jumped out. And she said when she woke up, all she knew she was in the hospital. She think if she didn't, she would have never made it back home. She said she would have never made it back home. So that's why she did. That's why she had jumped. Because people wonder why she jumped out of a moving car. So she said something told her to jump, and she felt like it had saved her life. You know, because who knows what have happened? If she would have stayed in the car. Because she said if he was spraying something, she just started feeling sleepy. You know, um, then she said she woke up and she was in the hospital. You know, with injuries to her face, her arm, her back, and her legs. But she know that this is real. And she know that it happened. And she never knew this could ever happen to her. So she said 9 times out of 10, your gut, your instincts would be right. They always say follow your first mind because 9 out of 10, your first mind is the Holy Spirit. And I ain't used to follow my first mind, but now I do. Because for your first mind, they say always follow your first mind, always follow your instinct. You know, and she never knew this could ever happen to her. So she said for everyone else that's catch the lift, and I'm saying to catch the lift, you catching an Uber, you catching a cab. Just stay safe. Yes, remove the driver access to the lift platform. And sometimes you can't help but you say be safe, but how can you be safe at the moment? It's easy for somebody to say be safe, but at that moment when something is going on, it's hard. You got to think quick, or figure things out. Or sometimes things just happen so fast, and sometimes it's out of your control. Easy for someone to say be safe, but then when you in that moment and things is happening, you have to think at that moment what to do. It can happen to any one of us. You know, the driver was the one. He was the one that called 911. And then when they went out there, he acted so innocent, like he don't even like it wasn't nothing, like he don't know what happened. He trying to figure out. He telling the police like he don't know why she jumped out the car. You know, so they all looking. They will investigate and still look into the situation. You know, so I got safety tips. So when you get into a Lyft, a Uber, or cab, you know, you have to have your eyes open and watch your surroundings, like she did. She watched her surroundings. When things look suspicious, you know, he just sprang, and then all of a sudden she started feeling sleepy. And then she yelling for him to open the door. He refused to open the door to let her out. Now, instead of him asking her, well, what you screaming for? What is the matter? And I think if you got a passionate a person in your car, you shouldn't be spraying nothing. You should clean your car out and spray before someone get in your car. So the first one I said, before you get in cab, a Lyft, or Uber, pray. You know, when I had my car, that's all I used to do is pray before I get in the car. You know, pray before I leave out of my house. Before you leave out of your house, before you even get in your car, you should be praying. Because this is a wicked world. You never know what gonna happen to you. You never think in a million years that certain things will happen to you. So since this is a wicked world, you have to pray all the time. You got to pray when you leave your house. You got to pray before you get in your car. And then the second thing I have pepper spray on you. They have the one that can be clamped to your keys and stuff. So you have that on your keys. And another thing, when you get in an Uber, a Lyft, or a cab, always have your keys clamped on you. Always have your phone in your hand and make sure it's fully charged. So when you feel like something is being suspicious or you don't feel safe, you grab the hold of that pepper spray and you grab the hold of your phone and you dial 911 as you're screaming trying to get out of that cab or out of that car. That's what you have to do. You know, have your phone on hand. Always make sure your phone is on fully charged before you leave. I'm always charging mine while I'm getting ready. Always make sure your phone on fully charged. That's why I'm always have mine in my hand. Always have your phone in your hand when you go somewhere. But you could just be screaming and running, and all you got three numbers to dial: 911. You know, um, and dial number one as you running or as you scream or whatever the case is. Why you in that Uber and you screaming and hollering, let me out. You call the police at the same time while you hooping and hollering, where they can hear you in the background. So when you in that cab or Uber, whatever the case is, have your have your phone in your hand. You know, and make sure your keys is in your purse locked in case you got to grab out of there. Have your purse wrap around you or something where you could get out and just run. You know, so always have them kind of little pouch with a little pocket on the side. You stick your phone up in there. Make sure your keys is in there, so when you run, you don't have to worry about your keys falling down. We got to think of all these things. We always got to think of your look around for your surroundings. Always check for your surroundings. Always check if somebody looks suspicious. She think quick. She think quick. 'Cause why she in the car? Why she spraying? You know. So when the driver are spraying, uh, or you feel unsafe, get out of the car. Get out of the car. And while you trying to get out the car, make sure your phone is in your hand to dial 911. You know, be safe. Pray to God to protect you. That you're going, coming, and present be safe. Do that every day. Pray to God. That you're going and you're coming and you're present be safe. So when something do happen, you call out Jesus' name, call out God's name, call out someone's name that's in the kingdom. And if you pray and do this every day and you call out, they'll remember you. So we talking about this team. She had to jump out of this car. Because I think if she wouldn't jump out of this car and he spraying something and she was getting sleepy, who knows what she would have woke up to. So thank God she jumped, she think quick and jumped out of that car, and she woke up in the hospital. You know, so that was my advice. To pray before you leave out your house. Pray before you get in your car, and always ask God for your going, coming, and your presence to be safe. So if anything do happen, you call out their name, and they remember you when you start praying every day. You know, not just for that day, not just for that moment. You have to do this every day. So they can remember you when you call out their name. You know, so and that's something we have to go through. We have to watch our surroundings. We need the ones who we don't have a car. You know, um, on a bus and you're traveling backwards and forward, and you have to get a cab, you have to get a Lyft or Uber, whatever the case is. These the type of things that we have to do. Meaning we have to pray. You know, we have to pray, because who knows, this world here, this season here, is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because it's still having so much crime, and so much stuff is still going on. Just a teenager just got off from work, you know, and had to experience something like this here. So I thank God that she survived. Thank God that she is alive. Who knows what she would have woke up to if she would have continue on sitting in that cab and me in that lift. Who knows what she would have woke up to. So thank God she she think quick. She jumped out and woke up in the hospital. So that's all the short news I have for you tonight. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all in the next video.